Welcome back, friends, to another episode of Sit Crooked, Talk Straight. My name is Katie Myers.
And I'm Leanne Jamison.
And we are here to sit crooked. That means get cozy, get comfy, curl up, fetal position, if you will, if you need.
Whatever you need, whatever.
Whatever you need.
This is about checking in with your body. That's what we're talking about.
I didn't even plan that, but sit crooked is getting comfy, settling into your body. Talk straight is honest, open,
No bullshit.
no bullshit, safe conversation. And sometimes that comes in the form of us being goofy and silly and damn funny, because I think we are.
I think we're hilarious.
We're fucking hilarious. And other times we really share from our experience, strength, and hope, and hope that you relate to our personal human experience that we're having. And one of the things that Leanne and I are really big on is getting in tune with our bodies and being aware of our physical space and what we need, what our bodies need, what is our body communicating with us. Because it's giving us information all day long, but so many of us are so disconnected.
Us included, right? And that's why we're doing this. It's more of like education, a little bit of info, personal experience, all that jazz. But we decided to do this because both of us had recent experiences where we know with our mind, our brain, something is happening and something is stuck and all of these things, and we try to think our way through it instead of feeling our way through it, as our team of therapists and energy healers and all sorts of people tell us we need to do.
Fucking everyone tells us to do that work. And then sometimes we're like, oh, wait, maybe I should get out of my head. No,
sure.
Yeah. Oh, sure. I think that's a good idea, Katie. Okay.
I don't know where I came up with this, but
yeah,
pretty fucking epic. So I know my experience was with my massage therapist. Shout out to Christina Murray at Ouroboros Therapeutics Art, who she does myofascial release. And I just unloaded to her of just like, this is what I've been feeling. She's like, where are you feeling it in your body? She's like, get out of your brain. Stop trying to figure it out and feel it out. So that is what I did. And it's funny because I usually, of course, my tension is in my jaw, in my shoulders, typically sometimes in my lower back, stuff like that. But when I did finally, I was just like, well, I went to my like normal, and then I'm like, oh, and by the way, I've been having to eat Tums every single day for the past 2 weeks. She's like, Leanne, do you fucking think, she doesn't swear too much? Well, she does. Do you think maybe, your solar plexus could use some work, maybe some, sacral chakra energy too? I'm like, yeah, probably. You're probably right, Christina.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
But the experience, holy fuck, holy hell, like, yeah, just amazing. I was telling Katie, it was like a shock through my system. I don't even know how else to explain it, but I feel fucking amazing today from it. So, that's my story of why we're doing this. What about you, Katie?
Well, I just had my therapy session with my therapist, my guru, my guide, my saint. She just walks through so much bullshit with me. Anyway, she acknowledged, she helped me connect with the fact that I was really disconnected from my body. And she was like, you're not listening to the physical cues because you're so in your head trying to figure it out. And that's not where the answer is. And I can't tell you how many times I say that to my own clients: out of your head, into your body. Especially when I work with like lawyers and like really left brain, really highly intelligent,
yes,
pilots, people who are just like very heady. Get out of your head and into your body. And for some people, that is such a foreign concept because that's kind of like, we're not taught that. Like, we're going to go through the chakras today and do some education, but we're not taught usually, typically, this is not mainstream information. It's definitely not taught in school. But
Right.
we don't know. Like when I say my sacral chakra is blocked, I know today exactly what it means,
Yep.
exactly what it feels like.
Yep.
I know what to do. But if I said that to any normal person on the street, they would be like, "I'm sorry, you're what?" Right? Like, I'm,
What'd you just call me?
right? There's this disconnect, and because we also live in a culture and a society that does not applaud when we slow down long enough to get in tune with our bodies. We are so instant gratification. We are so go 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 go. We are
Mhm.
so quote busy. Like we've got the busyness
Right.
leg, right? Like we're so, and it's ingrained in us to live our lives in a certain way that does not honor slowing down, taking breaks, taking pauses, self care, mental health days.
Well, just checking in with your body even, right? It's nobody's ever stopped or not that I'm aware of, not in any kind of like executive or board meetings that I've been in. Like, you know what? Let's just take a moment and check in with our body. Put your hand over your heart and one hand over your stomach. Like, I've never been in that before.
All the C-level folks that I know that if that happened would fucking like get up and leave. Like they would just be like,
Off.
who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Right? I can funny story, side tangent. I'm a therapist, I'm a social worker. I also worked on an IT team for
Mm.
a couple of years. I helped build medical records, electronic
That's
medical.
right. I forgot about
It's
that.
such a small little blip on the screen of my life. But funny is my CIO, Chief Information Officer, um, who was over the IT team, um, had me do a meeting of some sort, and I was presenting something about like the EMR and just whatever, but building an electronic medical record for clinicians in the mental
Mhm.
health and substance use space. And I remember I asked, after I got done, I asked the team also of IT people. These
Mhm.
are people who like code, they know like SQL and Java, and um, like they're very, again, left brain, very black and
You're
white,
speaking a
very,
different language. I'm not really.
right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, welcome to my world. So, but funny, this is the point of it. I was like, does anybody have any thoughts or feelings about anything that I just shared? And my boss, he looked at me with the most compassionate, because he was a very um, different type of CIO. He
Mm.
had some emotional intelligence about him. But he was like, Katie, I don't think I've ever been in an IT meeting where someone's asked me how I felt about the the
What
uh,
was
the, the data or the product that we're developing. Well, you're welcome. Um,
exactly? Oh,
because
I love
maybe
that.
maybe we need to see how we feel about it. And that the programmers and the like data guys are like, what's happening? Like I don't understand.
So,
If you're doing
feelings
that's
do not compute. I'm sorry, IT guys. I'm sorry, left brainers. That was not. That was.
it's kind of right. It's a generalization because it's got some accuracy to it.
That's.
Um,
It's
and
just like how us feelers are highly sensitive. That's a generalization and pretty accurate.
I represent So yeah, like what the question, and Leanne came up with this so brilliant. She's on fire, you guys, with titles and one-liners. But like, what the chakra is going on? Like, I want to know what the heck is happening in our bodies, getting in tune with our bodies, getting in alignment with our bodies, listening. It's not just about knowing; it's about listening and then taking action. So if I continue,
Right.
so like your story about the taking tongues, and your person is like, do we need to do some solar plexus and sacral work? And you're like, yeah, yeah. So that's great information. Again, I'm going to just stay in my head. That's great information. I know that, but I'm not going to do anything differently. Then
Right.
we stay stuck. And
Yeah.
so Leanne and I are both energy healers in different ways, and we
Mm-hmm.
believe in this work and unblocking our chakras, I'm a Reiki master. I do Reiki as well as clinical therapy and life coaching. I believe in combining all of it together for a really
Mm-hmm.
holistic experience. And I do this work myself. Like I do chakra clearing and energy healing
Same.
on myself because I
Mm.
believe in it. And I also had a therapist, my therapist recently say to me, "You're in your head." And so
Yeah.
I, we're all here.
We're all here for it. We're all here for it. So
We're all
what
here
is
for
it, when you think about it, because I feel like this is something that's coming up more and more about like somatics, right? And getting in tune with your body.
it.
And I mean, I still think there's a long way to go. And like there's so many different ways to do it. And that's essentially what we're doing. What we're saying is get into your body. And one of the tools that we use is really checking in with our energy centers. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about chakras, the different energy centers. Now, we are only going to touch on a few. There are, I want to say like how many? 90,
I think more than that.
hundreds,
100,
hundreds
hundreds.
of energy centers. So,
Mhm.
but the ones that live within our body are the ones that we're going to be talking about today. Um,
I'm going to call them the main ones, but
yeah.
because when you think about like, and I gave this example to somebody recently, and they asked like, "What is Reiki?" And I gave the example of like in Western medicine, we operate out of systems,
Hmm.
respiratory system, bodily systems, digestive system, and we also operate out of a damage control or symptom um, modality of let's fix whatever is broken. Like wait until something is like broken and then we can fix the symptoms of it or whatever.
Hmm.
And and so in Eastern medicine, it's more of energy systems, energy centers
Yep.
that we look at. So if like you mentioned the digestive system, there might be something with the solar plexus or something with the sacral chakra. We can look at that, but it's also more preventative in nature where we want to move energy,
Yes.
and everybody comes to their existence with energy. I come to every interaction and everywhere I go, I take energy with me, just
Yep.
like you do. But the with Reiki, the belief is that as I can manipulate with permission your energy, and we can move that energy together, but with somebody who's trained can move that energy, unblocking the chakra, just like you would unblock like an artery, right? Like I really do
Hmm.
picture that at times when I'm working with people. I'm like picturing the different parts of their bodies and like the flow of energy and like the breakdown of dark, dense energy that might be
Yes.
blocking something, right? And and we release that, and that allows for our systems to function more wholly and more um, healthfully. And so that's kind of my brief explanation, kind of in a nutshell. That definitely it does not explain everything, but kind of just a snapshot of like, okay, so what is Reiki? What is energy healing? What are these chakras that you're talking about?
Yes.
They're not anything that you can actually put your hand or finger on, right? Like you can't touch them, but
Right.
they are
You
located.
can feel them
You
though.
can feel them. You can absolutely feel them. But if you were to
Yes.
like do like a biopsy or like a what is it when you die and they do
Autopsy.
a autopsy?
Yeah.
Um, if you were to do an autopsy, you wouldn't be able to find the chakras, right? So this is again energetic. This can feel
Yes.
a little woo woo, but there is science behind it. There's so much science and research behind it. But so that's what we're going to kind of talk about today is the energy centers
Mm.
and not necessarily right like our heart chakra um, could be related to our cardio or cardiac or
Yeah.
cardiovascular system. That's the word. Um,
Hmm.
but we're going to talk about it from a little bit different lens,
Yes.
in function and similar in ideology around we need all of our systems to work appropriately and to be functioning fully with openness, no blocks. Again, think of your arteries. We don't want blocks in our arteries. We need
Exactly.
things to be moving fluidly throughout us. And when things are flowing throughout us, our energy expands and we are able to receive and achieve and experience so much more.
Hmm.
So that's kind of, that's my, what do you think about that? I've never shared that with
Yeah.
you.
What do you think and what do you feel about that?
Tell me what you think and feel about that. I
Yeah.
consider.
No, I
Um,
love it. I love it. And it's very what goes on in my head is like when we are looking at diagnoses, right? And this can go, that's very much a Western medicine philosophy of just like what are the symptoms of your depression, of your anxiety, of your whatever, where in shamanism and different in the more eastern philosophies or ancient philosophies, Native American, they look at your energy centers, they look at the symptoms of actually like anxiety and depression come from feeling disconnected, which is all a lot about your root chakra and not feeling safe to be in this planet at this time, the isolation that we feel, the hopelessness that we feel, it's a disconnection, and that is the energy center of the root chakra.
um,
So, right. So that's how, they sort of, so just to put it in like the Western philosophy type of, thinking of just like these are diagnoses, but it's not about like, oh, you have anxiety, oh, you have depression. It's more your energy center is blocked. You are disconnected from the earth and you need to recenter with the earth.
mm.
Right.
Well, and I mean, you referenced the root chakra, and it, of course, sparked the like getting to the root cause of things. And so often, like, I mean, I see a psychiatrist, I take medication for my mental health and wellness. And I believe in when you need medicine, you take medicine.
Hmm.
I don't believe in having any shame or stigma around medication. I also believe that we are an over medicated society. I also believe that we're very quick to throw a pill at something, and so when I have conversations with my psychiatrist, it's really frustrating at times because I want her to come to me through the lens of a little bit more holistic and a little bit more like, let's get to the cause of it. Like what's going on, you know, not just what are your symptoms and do you want me to increase your dosage? Because
Right.
that's typically how the conversation goes. It is literally tell me about your meds. Are they working? Tell me about your symptoms. Are they getting better? And rarely is it, um, what are you doing for self care? Sometimes she does. Most of the time, it's more she's not looking at like the
She's
root
not trained
cause.
to.
Not trying to. That's not the lens that she's coming from. And that's like I have to just come to be in acceptance.
Right, exactly. Right. If you want somebody like that, go to a functional medicine doctor, right?
Right.
They're trained in that, It's just like very much we're not conditioned to first go to our root chakra or like, oh, let me see what my body's telling me.
Right.
And unless we're in a significant amount of pain, right? If it's screaming at us. So what might be right? And I think about it too, even like now we're getting into the weeds a little bit, but like when I think about like the Eastern medicine, I mean, like they give more herbs, they give, right, more of like the natural,
Hmm.
but they still give like supplements and stuff like that, just like the Western society gives meds and stuff. So it's really, again, not judging either of them. It's
Yeah.
just again information and tools and ways to just really optimize your system to to live your best life while we're here on this planet, right?
Mhm. I
So
love
with
that. I love that phrase,
yeah.
optimization of your system. Like
Mhm.
I think that's really like the goal.
It really is when you're looking at it, right? We can judge good, bad, big pharma, blah, 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 blah. I mean, we can say the same thing for people that are making a shit ton of money selling mushrooms and shit. You know what I mean? Like we could.
That's out
So
there too.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, let's just call it like what it is of just like we're all working to do the best to live the best life that we can,
Love that.
and we're not going to agree or we're going to disagree, and that's okay. We all have our opinions. But this is really a lot of the work that Katie and I would say have been doing probably over the past 5 years of really enhancing our understanding and knowledge. And I know that we have a beautiful community of helpers and healers out there that probably know even more than we do.
Oh, for sure.
You
We are by
know,
no means
we're just
the
we're just toddlers. We're just 5 years old.
we're just kiddos um, talking about our experience, strength, and hope, and I do think we have a lot to share, and by no means are we the end all be all.
And I want to hear from all of you, right? I would love to just like infiltrate with all the information that we can so that all of our listeners can live their best lives and have that knowledge to choose. That's it's all empowerment, right? We were talking
Right.
in the other one of just like knowledge and wisdom. It's empowering to have that so that we can choose what we want to do with it next. So
Mhm.
um yeah, so when I talk about, right, I was feeling, and I'm going to use specific example of real time, right? What I was going through imposter syndrome like over this past couple weeks. Truly, it's a new up level for me, right? It's like with every up level, you have these opportunities to see what's still kicking around in you as far as like limiting beliefs and fears and judgments and all that stuff. So that is really what I mean. I will tell you, I've been like sort of, I don't want to say down and out, but definitely like lower vibration of just what
Mhm.
and using techniques of breath work and using, but I was definitely in my mind way more. And even when I got out of session last night, she was like, I'm like, wow, that really like that didn't make any sense. She's like, don't fucking try to make sense of it. Please stop.
Stop
Just stop.
thinking about it.
Stop
Stop.
thinking. Stop thinking. So we're talking about feeling into it. So a lot of times, and we, touched on the root chakra.
Mhm.
That's usually the one that, most people go to, I would say first. You can
Mhm.
correct me, right? It's like, well, what's
Yeah.
going on there?
Yeah.
Um,
We start kind of at the base, which would
yes.
be the root chakra.
Yeah. So it is. It's actually the perineum, right? Is where that energy center is. And it's related to red,
Mhm.
connected to the
Um,
earth, feeling grounded, right? It represents passion, fire, danger as well. Because when we don't, when that our root chakra is blocked, there's typically fear surrounding danger, right? That survival mechanism. You just don't feel safe to be here.
Lack of safety is what always comes up for me. It's like, what is it
Yeah.
that's making you not feel safe?
Yes.
What is keeping you from feeling fully alive? Um,
Right. Well,
and
and I would think that that's coming up a lot. That came up a lot when you were writing your book. Is it
oh,
safe to
hell
put
yeah.
this information out? Is it, you know what I mean? Like, how am I going to be judged? What's going to happen? Like that really prevents us from speaking up quite a bit too. I know that we focus a lot on the throat chakra there, but like it really it starts at the root chakra because you don't feel safe enough to express yourself.
100%. And
Yeah.
I did a ton of work around grounding myself. And because it's funny, I have this chart, this body chart, and it has beliefs associated with each of the chakras. And so
Mhm.
the first chakra being the root chakra, what is associated with it is safety, aliveness, life force, connection to humanity. So you talk about like me writing about my story and like me, like the desire for me to connect with humanity and to have that connection with others. But then our basic needs, right? Like our basic needs, Maslow's hierarchy, safety, shelter. Like we can't look at anything else if we don't feel safe. It's very difficult
Yes.
to get to higher levels of functioning if we don't have our basic needs met.
Hmm.
And the affirmation, if you feel like, gosh, this is landing, the affirmation for your root chakra is to tell yourself, I am here, I am now, I am safe. I am here, I am now, I am safe. And so I'll have people picture, and Leanne anatomically use the reference of like it's really your perineum. It's at the
Hmm.
very base, like the bottom, like what you're sitting on, basically. Like I will use the reference to think about the space at the base of your spine. So it's like the
Yeah.
lowest space. So again, you're just visualizing.
So I could give you the actual anatomical, like it's in between your vaginal area and your butthole. It's that space.
Yep, that's where it is. Um,
And I
yeah,
also use base of your spine. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, go to your butthole. Nope, that's not gonna work.
good. You wouldn't be wrong. You wouldn't be wrong. But that area in general, if you envision, if you're feeling like that space is blocked, if you're like I don't feel safe or I'm not feeling grounded, you and maybe even right now do it. Like close your eyes and envision a ball of red light at the base of your spine, and really just allow yourself to drop out of your head and into your body, into your breath, and breathe in the words, I am here, I am now, I am safe. And we'll go through, right, we'll go through the rest of the chakras. And I have a meditation. It's like 7 minutes recorded. If anybody's interested in that, hit me up, give me your email, I'll send you my recording. I think it's 7 minutes and 12 seconds, but it goes through each of the chakras, just like I just did. Envision a ball of, red light, breathe in, focus on your breath, envision the ball getting bigger as you breathe in different words and different affirmations.
I have this. I also have one that's like, it's longer though. So if you want a longer one, I did this for months every single morning. The morning meditation that I have is a chakra clearing. It's about 30 minutes. So again, if you're interested, please let me know too. So you can have both. You can have one that's a little bit longer. You can have Katie's that is like, if you just need a quick shock to the system and clearing throughout the middle of the day, as we often do, that is perfect for that. So, okay.
Next one is our sacral chakra, and this one's always fun to talk about because it's right below your belly button. So it's in your lower gut and your abdomen, your womb, ladies. But it's all sexuality and sensuality, and I can remember
pleasure, inner child is there too.
Creativity,
healing your inner child. Yep.
Fun,
money is there too.
I remember a chiropractor, network final chiropractor, telling me like your sacral chakra is blocked. And at first I did not know what that meant. And he was like, what's the relationship like with your husband? And I was like, why are you asking me that? And it was very much because like there was a block, and it didn't take, it was very like whole circle.
Right.
It was connection to my sexuality, sensuality, fun, play, creativity. But it was everything. But he was very much more like, what's your sex life like? I was like, none of your damn business.
You're my energy therapist. Do not ask me those questions.
That was not my response. I'm very open and honest about things. But it was funny, right? Like that was the focus. And when I do this, and I tell people to envision again your lower abdomen, the space below your belly button. Envision an orange light. The color orange is associated with our sacral chakra. And breathe in fun, and breathe in play,
joy,
creativity, sexuality, sensuality. And sensuality doesn't have to be 100% associated with sexuality, but it sure the fuck can. But it's like getting in touch with all of your senses, right? Like really, and so it's breathing in. And the affirmation for our sacral chakra is, I am worthy. I am a work of art. I allow my inner self to be seen and expressed. I am worthy. I am a work of art. I allow my inner self to be seen and expressed. So if you feel the need to clear that area, you can do this yourself. Envision that a ball of energy in your lower abdomen, color orange. Breathe into that space. Allow the color to get bigger and brighter with each inhale. And then breathe these words in. I am worthy. I am a work of art. I allow my inner self to be seen and expressed. And just sit with them. Don't think about it. Just sit with whatever you feel in your body.
Beautiful.
I love this. I love this shit, man. The next one up is our solar plexus. You referenced digestion issues and the block of solar plexus when you were dealing with imposter syndrome, because solar plexus is really all about identity and ego and purpose.
Absolutely. Personal power, identity, confidence. Yes. Yep. Courage.
How I feel the world sees me. The kind of the juxtaposition between perception and reality, like how do people perceive me versus what I believe my reality is about who I am. And so your personal power really comes from this place of your solar plexus, which is located just above your belly button and below your sternum. So right in the center of your abdomen.
This is something too, like if you're like, well, how do I know if it's blocked or whatever, that sense of identity, oftentimes, again, like when we're feeling low self-confidence, when we're feeling like the imposter, when it can also show up as like searching for external validation, right? We can also manipulate situations in order to get that met, right? So not being authentic, but just like out of fear, searching for that and manipulating different situations to do that. Also, feeling that powerlessness, that's very much associated with that. Like a victim, right?
Mm.
So
Well, all you martyrs out there, I want you to breathe into the center of your abdomen.
all of you martyrs and victims.
We love you. We love you. We are you. We are
Yes,
you.
we
We
are.
are, right?
Yes.
Like I had to be confronted about some victimology recently.
Mhm.
And if you listen to last week's episode, Dear Therapist, fuck off. This was part of a, a confrontation of like, you need to look at this. And I did not want to because it's quite self-serving and it was meeting a need that I had to be in a place of victim and martyrdom.
Yeah.
And it was not serving my greater purpose in
Right.
life. And so I had to be. So if you're feeling that, envision the color yellow in the center of your abdomen or your body and the affirmations. Oh man, I just lost them. They were in a screenshot. I just look for it. But breathe into that space, envisioning the color yellow getting bigger and brighter, and breathing in the words, I have a purpose on this planet,
Mm.
and I have the strength, confidence, and life energy I need to fulfill it. I have purpose on this planet, and I have the strength, confidence, and life energy I need to fulfill it. And give yourself some grace because you're human and our identity and our purpose are really huge. And we're always seeking and pulling back the layers to up level in those areas. The next one up, we're just moving upward in the body. I don't know if you could tell, but we're just moving north in the
Yes.
body. Our heart chakra.
Mhm.
And I have a big smile on my face when I said that. I don't really know, like,
You're like,
duh, like love, right? Like
yes.
our heart chakra is all about love. It's
Yeah.
about giving love, receiving love, unconditional love.
Kindness, compassion, right? Self-compassion, compassion towards others.
Mm, 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 mm.
So much empathy.
The color is often green, but
Mhm.
also the color pink can
Mhm.
be associated with the heart from but the color green, if you just envision the center of your chest, like right where your heart is,
Mhm.
and allowing that ball of energy to just kind of see what it's doing, just get curious, right? Like, is it, I've done this work with some people and they're like, I couldn't see a damn thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm completely blocked, I'm completely
Completely
shut off, I'm
blocked.
fearful, right? Like, I'm not feeling the love, I don't have the unconditional, I'm very
I have
judgy. And
no acceptance. Yeah. Yep.
so they can't see it. And so that's just information. No need to judge that as right or wrong, good or bad, but just information. But just envision that ball of green light as you say the words in your to yourself. I love myself unconditionally. I open my heart with compassion and unconditional love for all beings.
Mm.
I love myself unconditionally, and I love that it starts with the self. This does not start with
Always has
love,
to.
right? It does not start with love that you give externally. It has to start internally. I love
Mhm.
myself unconditionally. I open my heart with compassion and unconditional love for all beings.
There's a great, so this was, it's so funny. There's, why can't I think of her name? Like her name is completely creator. Um, for this, there she is. Okay. So for this was one of my first introductions to meditation, was loving kindness meditation. And there's also CBCT, cognitive behavioral compassion therapy. So if you're looking for a little bit more guidance, I would start with the loving kindness meditation. And her name is Sharon Salzberg. Amazing, beautiful, beautiful person. And I was lucky enough to have a mentor that immediately guided me to her. So
Mm.
it was like my first mentor supervisor in my APC. Yeah. In
I love that.
2006. Yes.
Oh, look at that. A
So
million years ago. I love
I know. I know. Crazy. So yeah. So that was the heart chakra.
Our next one, our fifth chakra, is moving upward to your neck, your throat region, is your throat chakra, and it's represented by the color sky blue, a light blue. And this is all about speaking your truth, finding your voice, what you say matters, say what you mean what you say.
Mm,
Be authentic and genuine in your spoken word. For
mhm.
all you people pleasers out there, that help. Hi, my name's Katie, and I am a recovering people pleaser.
Same.
Um,
Always in recovery.
Always in recovery, always needing to check in with myself to be sure that when somebody asks me something, that my response is my truth, not what I think they want to hear. And
Yes.
so I do a lot of work on my throat chakra.
Yeah. This is also, you can find it, if your throat chakra is blocked, you might also find it difficult to express or find the words to express yourself too.
Mhm. So interesting. Kind of like a stutter. Those
Mm,
who sometimes have difficulty with like, and not just a medically diagnosed like speech impediment, but like when you just kind of, like you said, struggle to get the words out. But I recognized at one point in my life, I was having just a lot of like drainage, I just
uh-huh.
needed to
Yep.
clear my throat a lot. And I was like, what is going on? And it was because I was just like, it was in the midst of my being CEO and executive director. And I was like, I'm speaking all these things all day long that I don't that's not me. It's
You're
not
not
me.
connected to.
It's not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yep.
the mantra um, that goes along with the throat chakra, and again, just envisioning a ball of light blue light, sky blue in the center of your throat. What I say matters. I give voice to my truth and inner wisdom. What I say matters. I give voice to my truth and inner wisdom. And really honor. And again, I use the phrase of like, say what you mean and mean what you say.
Mhm.
We've got to speak verbally. We got to walk the walk and talk the talk.
Right.
We have to be able to be authentic in our spoken word because oftentimes that is the majority of what represents us.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so, okay, so that's our throat chakra. Next one up is our third eye, center of forehead between the eyebrows. And this is always weird for me because it's represented by indigo, which is a
Mm,
dark blue. And so when I think about like envisioning like this ball of dark blue indigo light getting bigger and brighter, that's hard for me because I feel like dark blue doesn't get bigger and brighter. It's dark. It's dark blue, right? So if you are like me and have a little bit of a block there, look at that. Look, I'm identifying a block as we speak.
Ah.
Um, but it's all about our intuition,
Yes.
um, seeing the truth, our awareness, our ability to focus.
Our
And then
spiritual wisdom too, and that connection with that. Very like the wisdom that we have, that innate knowing, that's all third eye.
100%. Um, and 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 letting in the mantra it says, I see clearly as the obstacles of my ego fall away. And so this is important, right? Like our ego, again, it's important in our identification of who we are and how we can present in the world.
Hmm.
It can get inflated, it can get in the way. And so we can't always rely on that. And so I see clearly as the obstacles of my ego fall away. And that's really referencing like pride. um, I trust my intuitive knowing. So sometimes when I do my third eye, I will actually pretend that I'm pulling open the eyelid of a third eyeball in the
Mm,
center of my forehead. And so I just
yeah.
kind of go in an upward motion in my forehead and I will picture the ball of dark blue light getting brighter if I can, but I picture the eyeball opening And then I will say to myself, like, I see clearly and I trust my inner knowing. I see clearly and
Yes.
I trust my inner knowing.
Yeah.
And again, this isn't about being in your head. Yes, it's located in your head, but it's not
Right.
about like thinking. It's about intuition. So there's a
Right.
difference there.
And you can experience this block with you could be like you feel overwhelmed or exhausted, like clouded judgment, right? Indecisiveness. These are
Lack of
all
focus.
signs, yeah, that you're disconnected. So,
Absolutely.
mhm.
Um, and then the last one that we'll talk about, the seventh chakra is our crown chakra, and it's actually located outside the body, about an inch above the top of your head. And it is all about, you mentioned the spiritual connection, but the greater conscious unity consciousness. So it's not our like our internal spiritual, but it is the connection with all of us as spiritual beings and
Mm,
God. I use the phrase, the words God, goddess,
yeah.
the divine, universe, Mother
It's
Nature.
it's the like I think of just like the collective. It's the connection, the oneness, the
Mm-hmm.
right? That connection with all. Yes, but I also use like with your connection with your divine and often think of it as just like opening it up wide to let the
Yeah,
light shine through. Mhm.
I love that. And the color for our crown chakra is purple. And so we envision, I like to do like a really deep, rich royal purple. And almost like, I don't know if you guys remember if you were 90s kids, did you ever have a black light
Mm,
in your,
yes.
right? Like the posters that were like all like psychedelic and like, and then the black
Yes.
light. So like I picture, I
I
know,
was just thinking, I'm like,
Grateful
of course,
Dead.
you know how many drugs I've done? Of course I had a black light and psychedelic
Of course,
posters.
with incense burning and the Grateful Dead playing in the background. So we digress, but I picture actually like the black light, like that purpley, like black light,
Yeah. Yep.
the top of my head. And the affirmation is, I am one with the universe
Mm,
that transcends space and time and pervades all that is. I am one with the universe
mhm.
that transcends space and time and pervades all that is. And
Yes.
so when
Yes.
we connect, and this is like one with the universe, but like my spiritual connection is related to Leanne's spiritual connection, which is
Mhm.
related to your spiritual connection, which is related to, right? Like we're all connected. Um,
Exactly.
we're all made of the same stardust. At least that's what I believe. And
Mm,
in that connectedness, we have God within us. We have God that is, and I use the word God. I know sometimes that can be a trigger for some,
trigger.
but um, whatever that spiritual connection is for you, spirit guides, ancestors, whatever,
Yeah.
that is what connects all of us as human beings, these spiritual beings having this human experience, right? And
Mhm.
so just picturing that light getting bigger and brighter, and I'm connected with the universe, I'm connected with all that is, it transcends time and space, and just allow. And I think sometimes when I'm having like a spiritual, I'll call it a spiritual crisis, or I'm feeling really disconnected from my higher power, that's when I'll spend time trying to connect with others, because that is also another way that I connect with my
Spiritual connection.
higher power, is that spiritual
Absolutely.
connection.
And that's, yeah, that's what I was going to say is that oftentimes when this is blocked, you can feel like life has no purpose. You feel very, very disconnected from others.
Mm-hmm.
You feel disconnected from your body and your spirit, which in the holistic framework, that's what truly brings on depression and anxiety is
Yep.
disconnect from spirit. And this can often, it can come out as like worry or even like, in physical ailments of like headaches. When you get a lot of headaches, that's a sign that that's blocked as well. So, different ways to just identify,
Mm-hmm.
what does this look like? What does it feel like? Because we are still cognitive beings, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
it has to make sense to us and we have to know like, well, how does this actually come up and how do I identify it? Of course,
Mm-hmm.
because you need to know which technique to use. So
Yeah, well, understanding, right? Like if I'm overthinking or I'm being overly perfectionistic, like that's a
mhm.
sign that my crown chakra is closed. I'm not open to the greater
Yeah.
the greater being, and again, we get some of this sounds a little bit woo woo, I will admit
Mhm.
at times, right? Um, but I also challenge you, any of you that might be listening, if you're still listening, and if you think this is woo woo, I'm surprised if you're still listening, but if you're
I
still
know.
listening, go do your research.
Yes.
Look up Reiki, look up energy healing, look up the Cleveland Clinic.
Mhm.
They their oncology unit has every single one of their patients also in conjunction with chemotherapy and radiation or whatever medicinal interventions. They have every single one of their cancer patients going through Reiki,
Oh, I love that.
and they've done research on it, and they show like the integration of that with other
Yes.
modalities really has helped the
Enhance
healing and remission.
opti optimizes everything, right? It supports everything supports, and that's what brings us full circle to, right? We utilize all these different modalities to live our best life, to live our most whole life. Um, And yeah, I love that. I love that you identified that because I know that I have been seeing more and more hospitals implementing, and I talked to my sister about this too because she works in hospice, and they implement meditation, like meditation rooms now. And I'm just like, yes, at the VA they're doing that. Like, I just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful practice. I'm glad we're finally there. So
Some of the world is catching on.
I
We still have a
know.
ways to go, but so
Oh,
much of the world is starting to catch on. We can be so
yes.
grateful for that. And so,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
So
yeah,
if you
them the
have,
chakras, them the
yeah,
chakras, put the
them the
chakra going on.
chakras, what the chakra going on. If you want any more information or any kind of healing, make sure that you reach out to Katie. She is there to help support you and uplift every single energy center in your body. I will offer some breath work, which is a different type of clearing. So those are our tools that we use on, if on the reg, really. I would love to, again, I know that we have so many beautiful souls out there that are so versed in so many different healing forms of Eastern philosophy and just things that we might not even be aware of yet. So please, please, please reach out to us. Please let us know all the different modalities that you use to just live your healthiest, most vital, like I think of like vitality, right? Life. So yeah, thanks for going through the chakras with us. And hopefully, well, I know that it's gonna land with people that need it. So I trust in that process. So yeah, let us know if there's any other questions that you have. We would be happy, happy, happy to do another one or just to reach out to you individually and chat with you about it. So, as always, sending so much light and love. Be sure to stay curious, stay compassionate, and let your legacy shine. Sending love. Mwah.
Mhm.